Man, I ain't gonna sit here and try to front to you guys. This PlayStation thing, I feel like every time I turn around, they get more and more anti-consumer. What's going on, you guys? Gaming out here, coming at you with another video. Today we're gonna be talking about the PlayStation 5. They've done a lot this generation in terms of being anti-consumer. They've done a lot in general, to be honest with you. I would say out of the bunch, they're definitely one of the worst when it comes to being anti-consumer. First off, I want to point out that these companies are meant to bleed you dry. That's what they do. A lot of things every company does is anti-consumer. It's just a matter of the perspective and how hard they're doing it. Is it really anti-consumer, or is it just, it's just business? Well, PlayStation 5 has already raised the prices of PlayStation once. Looks like they're doing it again in certain regions right now. Now, we have to keep in mind, right now it's just in these core regions. It's in Europe, Australia, and New Zealand. So, they are raising these prices. Here's the thing. I know a lot of people are going to say, but Addict is just these regions. It starts in just these regions. And then before you know it, they're raising it more and more places. My biggest thing is just like, you're selling a lot of them. Like, and you've already raised them once this generation. So it's just like, you going to raise them again? Now, we don't know exactly, if this is going to hit like the bigger places. Europe is a big region for them. So it is interesting that they are raising it there. Another thing that they're doing is, we know PlayStation is no stranger to re-releasing the same product multiple times. We have Last of Us that was on the PlayStation 3, Last of Us Remaster on the PlayStation 4, Last of Us Part 1 remake or remaster. I can't remember exactly the name. You can put it in the comment section below. I'm sure some of you are going to love to correct me on that one. That was on the PlayStation 5. You have The Last of Us Part 2 on the PlayStation 4. You have The Last of Us Part 2 on the PlayStation 5. This game has been packaged up with new tape on multiple occasions. Is there anything wrong with that? No. In the grand scheme of things, there's nothing wrong with that. If they got an audience that wants to play this, by all means do it. But one thing I will say, and maybe you guys can put in the comment section below, because I don't really have an issue with this. I don't have an issue with selling the game again if you feel like your audience is going to play it. What I have an issue with is I feel like PlayStation's been very, very dry in certain aspects that they would normally be very good in. And I feel like instead of giving you newer experiences that you can really look forward to, they continue to give you the same experience just repackaged up because they know that core audience is still going to buy it. So we got this Last of Us Collector's Edition, complete edition. This game is essentially going to be coming with, all of them. It's for $99. $99 is a lot, man. It's a lot. The complete edition comes with The Last of Us now complete on PS5 Physical Collector's Edition. It comes with essentially it's The Last of Us. It's The Last of Us story. You could get your full collection with The Last of Us. It's got everything last. Now, a lot of people are worried because this means that The Last of Us is over. A lot of people are worried because, like, the way they're wording this, I would agree that it does feel like they are very, very, very pushing that there is no more Last of Us. Now, remember, not too long ago, Neil Druckmann kind of alluded there wouldn't be a Last of Us Part 3. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's true, because I don't think he ever come out officially and said it. But it was kind of like read between the lines kind of thing. Do I think there's going to be Last of Us 3? Yes, I do think. I think PlayStation's not stupid. They know people will buy this game if they put it out there. And I think that's why, in the end, they will make a Last of Us Part 3, even if that's not part of the plans currently. Right now, we're seeing Microsoft, we're seeing all these other companies releasing older games, and they're doing the remake fashion. Now, I will say, PlayStation is definitely one of the biggest culprits of re-releasing games. Switch does it a lot. Nintendo definitely, they pretty much repackaged every Switch game. Just about every one of them. I don't know one Switch game that wasn't repackaged from the Wii U. I don't know. I'll have to go back and look that. Sure, someone fact check me in the comment section below. Look, like I said, this particular situation with Last of Us, if they're willing to buy it, let them buy it. But I do feel if I was a Last of Us fan and I have bought this multiple times and I'm kind of looking forward to getting my hands on a new Last of Us game, this would frustrate me. Do I play the Last of Us franchise? Yes, I actually really do enjoy the Last of Us franchise. But one thing I will say is it's very frustrating because I myself would be annoyed with this. That's just my opinion. If I was a Last of Us fan, I've played the Last of Us games. I enjoy them, but I don't think like I'm big enough fan to like care about stuff like this. So it comes down to it's like PlayStation, man. I know you spent a lot of money on the games as a service. We've seen that they've been canceling games as a services like crazy the past 2 years. You know, Jim Ryan really took them for a loop. Jim Ryan got all these games greenlit. Jim Ryan convinced the whole company that they needed to move way more towards games as a service. Now, I'm not going to blame all of it on Jim Ryan because the whole industry has been trying this games as a service thing. You know, it's not good enough. They don't want to make just that little bit of money that they make from games, which is a lot of money, but, you know, to them it's a little bit of money. They want to consistently get that money over and over again. That's what they've kind of been, you know, going towards here for the longest time. Look, at the end of the day, it is what it is when it comes to this. I do feel that we need some more announcements for them. They are getting a little bit better. We saw the Returnal people announce a game. We have been seeing announcements from them. You know, we got the Ghost of Tsushima sequel. So we have been seeing some things, but I do feel like in terms of Naughty Dog, besides their game, you know, does that mean they're not making a Last of Us Part 3? A lot of people figured they were making multiple games. So I don't know. I'm kind of curious to your guys' opinion on that. You know, just definitely hit me up in the comment section below. Tell me what you guys feel about that. If you guys enjoyed this video, definitely hit that like button. As always, appreciate it. You can always sub to the channel. We make weekly content over here. I just like PlayStation, man. Stop being so anti-consumer, PlayStation. Like, you guys are doing it like crazy here lately. I feel like I can't get away. 1 week can't go by without them doing some anti-consumer thing. Them raising the prices of PlayStation Plus. Raising the prices of PlayStation hardware. You know, repackaging multiple games over and over again to give it as like, stop it, PlayStation. You can do better than this. I get it. You know, a lot of people, you know, when I go on and on about competition in the industry and I get nervous about PlayStation doing what PlayStation's doing, a lot of people look at me and was like, well, Addict, you know, I know that you're frustrated, but that's just the way Xbox is going. Well, here's the problem with that. Because Xbox is doing what they're doing and they're not really competing in the hardware industry, you're going to see more stuff like this. Look what you're seeing with Nintendo. Look what you're seeing with PlayStation. There's no one to check them. And I'm going to be honest with you, I don't see that changing anytime soon. These companies know that they do have a good stronghold on the industry, and with no real threat coming in, because even though PlayStation and the Switch do compete, they don't compete at the same time. And I think you guys know what I mean by that. I don't know. I might be wrong on that. I'm sure you guys put in the comment section below if you believe I'm wrong on that. You know, tell me what you guys feel in the comment section. You know, we could definitely hit it up over there. I'm very curious to your guys' opinion on something like this. But tell me what you guys think. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit that like button. As always, appreciate it. I know I'm only been popping out like 2, maybe 3 videos a day. I'm doing better on that. You know, I'm kind of putting a little bit more extra content in this that I particularly want to put out. Look, I don't mind talking about news. You know, I'm one of the people in the industry that's passionate about everything. I will talk about everything. So, essentially, almost anything that comes on the line, I'm interested in talking about. But when it comes to certain stuff like this, I do want to, you know, I want to talk more about games and not just the practices in the industry. Because even though stuff like this might interest me on why PlayStation's being so anti-consumer, at the same time, I want to talk more about the Outer Worlds too. I want to talk more about The Last of Us when it does happen. I want to talk more about the games themselves, as well as covering the news related to the industry. But anyway, put in the comment section below what you guys feel. I'm very curious your guys' opinion. Once again, follow me on Twitter at Lord Addict ILP. My streaming channel, Addict Arena, all that's in the description below. And until next time, this is Gaming Addict. I'm out of here. Peace. Woo, man. PlayStation, you guys got to do better. You guys got to do better.